I'm sorry. Am I being extra catty? Am I being extra hard or harsh? Or I know that filmmaking is not easy, but holy shit, sometimes I need to vent. That was hilarious. Like, I know that they were going for a twist, but don't let your twist be ridiculous. Don't let your twist be ludicrous. Don't let your twist be funny. Hi. Today we're reviewing Head Over Bills, a 2022 comedy drama streaming on Prime Video. This movie is written by Mannie, Oiseomaye, and directed by Dabby, Chimere. Welcome. For a synopsis, it says, in pursuit of their mother's approval, two privileged and spoiled sisters find love, lose it, and rediscover themselves. What did I think of this movie? This movie started out bad right from the opening scenes, and I wish I could tell you that it recovered. It didn't. This movie was bad, and that's a complete sentence. So if you want, you can stop watching here. You got what you needed, you can go. But if you want to stay here with me and if you want to help me with the YouTube algorithm, let's go. I would be drinking myself silly just as I did with Merry Men 3, but I'm not really drinking right now, so it sucks to be me. Now, let me mention some of the people featured in this film. Shaffy Bello, Bimbo Ademoye, Uzor Arukwe, Mofe Duncan, Emeka Nwagbaraocha, Nwosu. And listen, it actually hurt my face to say those names. This is how I felt when I watched, is it Love Life, whatever that other movie was, not very long ago. I didn't do a review. The one with Rita Dominic, Nsekwe Tim, and Michelle Dede. Incredible cast. So listen, a bad script will always be a bad movie, no matter who, and if it's also accompanied by just poor directing, then just forget it. So before we go on, just don't forget to pause, comment, subscribe, share, do all the things, support my channel. I'm grateful to you guys so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Before I continue, let me just apologize for the limited editing you're going to see in this video. There's so much content. There's just so much stuff out there. I'm trying to catch up, and if I'm going to do that, I'm not getting paid. I might never, so this is just a labor of love, but I'm trying to make it easier on myself by just sort of limiting the editing. The quality is not going to change, but the enjoyment, the mede, all the accidents I usually put inside the soup, that might change. So just for some time until everything regularizes again. What worked? Nothing. Sorry, nothing worked. Okay, actually, you know what? Wait, I have something. Visibility and inclusiveness, like we had the woman, the news interviewer in the opening scenes. She had braces, and I thought that was actually pretty nice. I don't know, I liked that, right? So braces, so visibility, yes. Because I need braces. I'm going to get braces in this my lifetime. I must die with good teeth. I must. So braces and bleaching, like, ooh, I love when you platform things. Just everybody needs visibility. So we had, somebody go from this to this, and the movie was very unabashed about it, so just big props for that. Also, I love that brows, lashes, butts, and champagne really featured heavily in this movie. Just they were in evidence all over the place. Final thing that I loved was the golden, glitzy, glamorous interior of the main house. It really gave the high taste of the nouveau riche. You know what, I've got to stop fucking around. This movie did not work on any level, and I will not bullshit you. Okay, so let's go. What did not work? Everything did not work. I don't know if that's a proper sentence construction or not, but everything did not work. We're going to do things a bit differently with this review. Normally, when I watch, I take notes, and then I sit down for hours writing a script just so that I make sure that my thoughts are well structured and articulated with care. That there's a flow. Fuck that. You know what we're going to do? We're going to read directly from my notes so that you experience me experiencing this movie as I watched it, okay? Let's go. So like I said, we're just going to go directly from my notes, and let's see if you follow along. Bad editing right from the start. Elizabeth Ofili is a mother. That's not how you cut away from a scene. That's literally a note. So that's right from the very opening scene when they asked her a question about her children, and she said that Shaffy Bello's character says Elizabeth Ofili is a mother. And then they cut away to show us her children doing different things, right? And so that's supposed to be a very quick montage of her kids. Instead, they dwell on this boardroom scene, dwell on this club scene, and I don't know what credits Oluchi even got in this before they now come back into this scene, into the interview. That was such a bad cutaway. In general, the editing was bad. What did I tell you about this movie? Let's move on. Bad score, complete sentence. Dialogue delivery. People were just doing wait for the other person to talk, wait for the very unnatural dialogue delivery. Bad direction of actors. That's the director. Not good directing at all. I looked up this director and saw that they've been working since 2016. So I can't even say this is like a newbie or something like that. That's 8 years working as a director and writer and producer, but just I didn't like the framing of the actors. There were too many unnecessary just close-ups. And then here is directly from my note. What was that slow-mo? And I said, stop fetishization with the camera. What was this slow-mo? It's not even a main character. It's not even a second. It's just a wallflower character. They wanted to show us her booty. Just stop it. Check the Black Book house. I literally made that as a note. I don't know. I never went back to check. I was going to before I started this review, but when I was looking at that house, the exterior, I was like, this looks very much like the general's house from the Black Book, but that's just me being mischievous. It wouldn't matter. That extra, the major domo, or I don't know, manservant in the house, he was so bad. That's exactly how I said it here. The breakfast table is interesting. All kinds of bread, no protein, figures. That was me being not very body positive there because I had a very big criticism. Hey, there's a reason I'm not eating all the bread I want, all the cake I want. I'm obsessed with rice, but I can't eat all the rice I want and all of that. So there's all, breads and things, like 5 different kinds of bread, no protein in evidence, a sprinkling of fruit here and there. I was like, that's a terrible breakfast table. This person has never been near any millionaires before. We'll come to the money. I said, and champagne? Why is it there? Did Oluchi bring it? And then when the mom, Mrs. Ophelia, started criticizing the daughter on drinking so early because it was a breakfast meeting, I was like, but your housekeeper, manservant, major domo, butler, whatever, he served champagne here at the breakfast table. What did you want them to do with it? And then we saw another of these exact bottles, by the way, in the other daughter, is it Mena, her name, in her house, also being drunk by her boyfriend in the morning. And so I had to go look up, and sure enough, the makers of that particular brand are sponsors in this movie. So it looks like there was just easy money because there's also GAC Motors there and some other person. So yeah, there was money to go around and shoot this. Money will never find the right hands, that's for sure, in that industry. I'm sorry. Am I being extra catty? Am I being extra hard or harsh? Or I know that filmmaking is not easy, but holy shit, sometimes I need to vent. If you have 3 children and they're bad, you've got to look inwards. So that was a direct quote when she was railing at her children and saying, you guys, you don't have a job, you're not this, you're not that. I wasn't looking at them. I'm always very interested in the mindset of writers. Whenever I see how characters absolve themselves of blame in certain situations and they're never called out on it throughout the movie, that's coming from the perspective of the writer. And it's not that it's trying to say something about the character, about a lack of self-awareness. It's really that they did not see that character have any responsibility. I said that recently, a similar thing in the review of Adire about the pastor. If you've not seen that review, go check out my Adire review. I had a similar criticism. And so when she's here yelling at the girls, I'm like, you're a bad mom. Have you taken a second to acknowledge that? And then I also asked, where's dad? Followed closely by, what was that opening scene for and who was that? It was on watching this movie like a second time, trying to put my thoughts together, that I realized that the woman who was in labor in the opening scene, because I agonized about it, that I tried to use the dates because that was in 1991. I was like, that cannot be Shaffy Bello's character, Mrs. Ophelia, cannot be. I was like, but it also cannot be one of the daughters now because the 2 older ones were like maybe 9 and 10 or something like that. I just was really trying to figure out who were the people in that opening scene. And then it wasn't until hours later that it suddenly dropped, oh wow, that woman that was in labor, because they came to tell her that her husband had died. That scene, first of all, it was completely unnecessary because it never never tied back to the story. There was no reference to the girls because they were sitting there when the news and the third one was being born, because I figured that out later. But there was never any reference to that scene, like the significance of that scene. It was only about coming to tell a woman in labor that her husband had died. I would have taken exposition for that, especially as it's an opening scene of a movie. Oh gosh. 30 minutes in, still not sure who this movie is about. And then later I came and amended that to say I never found out. So yeah, this movie was about everyone and no one. It was on some, but everyone just doing their own shit and going their different ways. It really did not matter. My note here, match budget with wealth. Didn't envy them one bit. Now, films should be aspirational, right? If they're telling you that someone is a billionaire, remember, on like at least 2 different occasions in this movie, somebody said multi-billionaire in dollars. Another person said that their net worth was about $2 billion. I know we like to throw money around, but listen, if you're going to throw money around, you better be ready to throw that money on the screen. There was nothing in their lifestyle that gave super wealthy. Maybe super wealthy in Naira, definitely not $1 billion type wealth. Are you serious? So I mean, apart from that, like I had said in the beginning, that super golden, glitzy, golden cheap furniture and an interior in the main house, that's Mrs. Ophili's house. Is that where we saw the money or these cars? Well, thank God for the GSC Moso's sponsor. And then I said here, I don't understand this triangle. Why isn't he proposing? Why is she lying? So I'm talking about when after Mena, somebody had kissed Mofe Duncan's character and come inside, which by the way, I was so for that love story. I was so for that story. I didn't care anything about these other 2 people, Uzor Arukwe. I didn't care about that relationship one bit. So when then she came in and she was lying, and I was like, why is she lying? Just end this relationship with this guy. And then I also asked, why isn't he proposing? Of course, they were getting us ready for the big twist towards the end, and we'll get there. But that whole thing just seemed weird to me. I said, I don't understand this triangle, because it seems like you're actually catching feelings for this other guy. What happened in that scene was not my mother is forcing me to marry this man, So let's leave that there. I said, not sure what's happening at this dinner. Why did they bring these men? So, this woman tells them, their mom, that I need you guys to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. I'm cutting off your whatever it is. Then somehow they mistook this for a Naija Christmas. She tells them, get your act together, get a job, start a business, do something, show that yourself sufficient, you can make money, you're responsible. And they heard what the mother in a Naija Christmas told her sons, I want you guys to get married, come back here with a wife. Because these 3 women show up the next time at dinner with these men. I'm like, why are you bringing men? That was not what she asked for. She asked you guys to become responsible. So yeah, that was so funny. And just, I don't know, miscommunication there. And I said here, her problem was getting employed / making money, not managing wastefulness. So why did she employ this boy? I wrote The Smart Money Woman, so I enjoyed, the adaptation for the first season of the show. So I enjoyed the money lessons. That could have come straight out of The Smart Money Woman, where he was telling her, cut down your spending, change your SUV for a sedan. I liked the money lessons, even if it was a bit incongruous with the tone of this movie. What was the tone of this movie? So just ignore me. I didn't say that at all. Everything fits in this movie because there's no tone, there's no style, there's no structure, there's nothing. So she's supposed to be starting a business. She's not hiring a business coach. She's not attending like seminars, getting mentorship, forming relationships with other CEOs and people. She has everything. Her family is a multi-billion-dollar dynasty, I suppose. So she has everything. Instead, she ends up with this kid, this 25-year-old kid that her sometimes non-verbal driver, bodyguard, housekeeper, reluctant confidante. She ends up with this cousin or nephew or whatever of this person who is now teaching her how to manage money. Your mother did not say stop being wasteful. She said show that you can make money. I don't know why she hired that boy, why she employed that boy. And then I said this driver, she can talk. So what was that even about? If you ask me, now who I go ask? I told you guys I will not sing again, but I can't help it. When I'm so overwhelmed, I just burst into song. Anyway, I said, why is everyone showing up with a man? I think I already dealt with this. And then I asked, I think this is still as a continuation of this dinner. I said, am I supposed to like this boy? I don't care how much he washed his hands with a PhD. He will not speak at the table with elders. He said Cheta has grown. So cringe. These are literally all notes I was typing. So that's how pissed off I was when he opened his mouth and said, I'm sorry, I beg to differ. Cheta has really grown in the time that I've known her. Like, will you shut up your mouth with your mate here? I hated that character so much because he was just annoying. But Emeka Nwagbaraocha is a sweet. I love him. Loved him in, what is it called? The House of Secrets. I've seen him 2 or 3 times after that. But you see, this is his character here. Get Out. And then as far as the time, I was like, how is this movie moving? When did he propose? That's Mofe Duncan's character. Why couldn't they even give us a montage? No sense of passage of time. So I don't know, that's a complete sentence because the movie just skipped what seemed like it could have been 2 months or 2 years or whatever. I have no idea. This babe was surprised that her blackmailer was with her for money. I don't need to explain that one. I don't. Why do they go to these trash restaurants? Yeah, that was another one. I also don't need to explain that. Then I said here, I don't know what made me despair, but I said these people have never met millionaires, let alone billionaires in their life. And by these people, I mean all the people that are behind this movie, starting with, I don't know if I should blame the writer. The writer could have written very exotic locations and things. Nah, it's not in the script. It doesn't exist. And then I said, secretary waited for her to be in the boardroom to show her the blog post, fire her now. Then this was the most surprising thing of all in this movie. Here are my notes. Did Uzor Arukwe's character change halfway? I don't remember the accent or know he even had a job until the blog post. Then suddenly he's a CEO, not a layabout. Well, knock me over with a feather. That was hilarious. Like, I know that they were going for a twist, but don't let your twist be ridiculous. Don't let your twist be ludicrous. Don't let your twist be funny. This was just, I don't know, senseless. He was lying about the apartment. No CEO has time to be asking for endless vacations. When she came, said, I want you to stay over, don't go. By the way, in that scene, I was like, he knows that she has her own house, right? It's not that the mother threw her out of the house and she has nowhere to go. And then he's always at her place. I'm sorry, what? So anyway, here he is, always looking very basic, and then all of a sudden, after they've revealed that he's the CEO of this company, the next time we see him, he's wearing a kaftan with a cap and everything, and he's suddenly speaking with a Hausa accent that was very inconsistent throughout, by the way. 1 minute he has it, the next minute he doesn't. I was so shocked by this. I could not take this seriously. From the moment they revealed that he was not a layabout, so the reason they made him look pathetic throughout was in service of this twist, and hence he answered my question of why isn't she breaking up with him, because obviously, I mean, she's with this guy. I don't know if she even loves him and he looks like a layabout. But now the new question is, when I said why isn't he proposing, we're supposed to have the answer now, which is, oh, because of the family feud, their rivals. That whole thing made no sense. Just leave me alone, leave me out of it. Then here's a quote: you made me excited about going back to work. Dude, you're 25. What were you doing? Gap year? Oh God. Like, you're supposed to be working. It's because you finished school and everything. So what do you mean you made me excited to go back to work? Did you win a lottery when I wasn't paying attention? A PhD does not make you. In fact, if anything, it makes you broker than you ever were before. So what did he mean by you made me excited to go back to work? Just go and work. Go away from this story. Bad pacing. By the time they got to the hospital, I forgot that the mom had been calling earlier. I actually have laughing emojis here. I'm not joking. Then I said also they played it like she was dying. Throughout the movie, they made it look like she was terminal, only to turn out that, oh, it was some muscle degenerative something. I didn't do any research, so I don't know what the surgery was for. Maybe I missed some lines of dialogue that explained why they had to like operate on her eyes. I thought she was getting what is that thing they used to do to people that time to reset their brain? And please, I hope I'm not being insensitive here. I don't mean to be. Okay, please don't jump on me if I'm being inappropriate. It's all in service of I'm trying to keep my sanity around this. What is that thing they used to do to people when they had scoring or they were trying to hammer the gay out of them? We die here today if I don't remember this. What is that thing that they used to do that they will put this thing inside somebody's eye and knock to reset the brain? I'll hate myself if I remember this later. Hey, you know what? I can't stay forever doing this. It'll come to me when I'm done with this video and I'll be so pissed. So yeah, by the time they got to the hospital, I'd forgotten that the mom was even looking for them. Then here's a note just to self. This movie's genre is comedy drama. I think I had to say that to myself to remind myself. The title makes no sense. Head over bills. What does that mean? That is so misleading. It gave me an image of a completely different movie. There's literally nobody, not even... Just never mind. Then the closing scene, that self-congratulation that Mrs. Ophelia was doing, was she really bragging about her daughters?
The past couple of weeks, it made me realize I raised amazing women.
They're still shit. Look at them. They still hate each other. You don't have people grow till they are all like, in their 30s and they've had this rivalry and almost like really hating each other the entire time. And then all of a sudden, and we didn't even play the emotional bits of them coming together, maybe upon realizing that their mom is probably dying or something like that. We didn't even have that to say, oh, this brought them closer and healed whatever was between them. None of that happened. Nothing pivotal happened. They still hate each other. There was no real journey. This movie, there was no journey. I mean, you could say that Cheta, I think that's Bimbo Ademoye's character, she started a business, but she's 30 something, maybe 35 or so, because she was the second child and the older one is 37. The oldest is 37. Girl, you're supposed to already be gainfully employed or working or something. Is not that big of a deal. That's why your mom is shite. She was a shite mom, okay? She fed you guys carbs and changed your brain chemistry. You people don't make any sense. And then the one daughter, which is ironic because the two girls that were born into sort of poverty, they're the ones that lead the very bougie life. And then the one who was actually born around the time when their fortunes started to change, because it's around that time that the mom took back control of the company. She's the one who is like responsible and all whatnot, but she was also like pretty boring and she didn't change at all because she was already perfect from the beginning anyway. The other one that was acting like a nymphomania, because what was that in the... Why was she licking her lips like that? Oh my God. Were they trying to make her cringe? Even after the mom's hospital stay and all of that, I thought that, oh, maybe something has happened with these people. This stupid girl was still embroiled in that whole blackmail, pregnancy, low energy, dirty garbage, gutter business with that guy. Why? So no, she didn't change. Like nothing happened. Nothing happened here. If you summarize this movie, the only thing that happened is that somebody got proposed to and Bimbo Ademoye, somebody, Cheta started a business, which she should have been doing long ago anyway. So I don't know. I'm just in conclusion going to say that this movie didn't work, period. It just picked up and abandoned stylistic choices because, like the beginning was a bit stylized with that cutaway to showing the characters and their names and all of that, and then that just disappeared. Anything that they tried to do, they didn't commit. It hurts to see this much talent go to waste, but listen, you have to have some sympathy because everyone needs to earn in this industry. So it's hard to even criticize people for accepting certain roles. And to be fair, sometimes a movie could look good on script, but then execution, you'll be like, how did I find myself in this? But this movie, it's hard to tell at what point it was a good script before it became a not good movie. Like I said, this director has been working since 2016. I don't know anything about the writer, so just I don't know. Well, if you wonder why I'm so pissed, it's because you have the luxury of looking away. Like if a movie, you don't like it, 20 minutes in, you're like, please, I'm not watching this, find something else. I have to do this review. So I have to watch it to the end. And by the time I get to the end, if it has pissed me off, this is transfer of aggression. You know what I love? I have an indoor treadmill right over there. It's directly in front of my TV. I had it at an angle before, but it was hurting my neck. So now when I'm watching a movie, I'm also getting my exercise in. So I guess I'm a bit less upset when I watch stuff that just isn't great than I would have been before, because before I have to sit my ass down there, be aware that I'm getting nothing done and I'm about to just throw away 2 hours of my day. But now at least I get my 10,000 steps or something, while watching a movie. So I'm a bit less ornery about it. If this is me being less ornery, I don't know what ornery will look like. Treadmill, highly recommend. What I do not recommend is this movie. Don't waste your time. All right, guys, that's it for Head Over Bills. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys so much. Much love. There's no 5-minute version of this review. I don't have it in me. I don't have the energy. What do I tell you? You have the right to an incredible viewing experience, so never settle. Thank you.